Welcome to today's learning module. I'm so excited to dive in. This is one of my favorite topics. I'm going to be sharing with you what we look at in regards to competitive intelligence online for your business. And so I oftentimes get emails from the team or from business owners who, they automatically assume that the competitors within search engines are the same competitor as the competitors down the street or in your market or DMA or the 30-year relationship you've had in a market with a solid competitor. When you look at your online competitors, you really need to break down your competition on each search engine. So what do you look like on Google My Business? What do you look like as far as referred traffic from other websites against your competitor? And even if you have launched your website at the same time, you've been in business the same amount of time, it would be interesting to really dive in and proceed with the activity I'm about to show you, because this is what I always do if I have, roughly 15 minutes, 20 minutes to dive in, do a baseline audit, and really be able to understand if somebody or a business is actively watching and making tactical changes monthly based on what they're seeing in their online business. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So when it comes to competitive intelligence, I want to first and foremost back up and talk about just marketing. Marketing is the number one money-making key in your business if you can get this right online. The internet right now is a little bit like the wild, wild west. And if you want to just really be unbiased about it, think about the browser that you're utilizing right now. Are you using YouTube? Are you using Google Chrome, Safari? I mean, Internet Explorer, Bing. Think about what that browser is learning from the websites that you utilize daily. And then think about with Google 4 years ago inserting machine learning into the search engines with Rank Brain. Go ahead and just Google Rank Brain, RANK, Rank. You'll just be amazed by the data that shows up. But with this new intelligence, when you do this 20-minute audit, I think what I'd like for you to understand is that everything that you see tactfully can be changed. And usually, if you do have the software, the only thing standing in the way is time and learning how to actually conduct the maintenance around SEO, to prevent you from either dropping off these search engines or from hindering anything that could be going on your website that could be causing you to drop in the rankings. So this is such an important piece to your online business because of the fact that marketing is a moneymaker right now, because this is so new. And you can do this baseline audit essentially for free, make the tactical changes on your end with just time and education. And there really are no financial barriers other than some software pieces that are keeping you from making these changes and getting your presence in the right place to meet your audience where they are and to really outpace your competitors on whichever search engine you have an audience. So I'm super excited to dive in. I chose BrahmanMotorsBMW.com. You're the lucky winner today. I just, again, I love automotive. I've been in the industry now since oh my gosh, 12 years. And I grew up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Henry Ford to me was just brilliant. I mean, people asked for faster horses and he created what he did. To me, it is just that type of innovation is what right now is amazing to see with Mark Zuckerberg and Elon or Musk and just Gary Vanderchuck and all the great things. So I get excited when I do these audits because for me, it really is a glimpse into the business and how well SEO and online marketing are being managed. So first things first, I love the website, easily aesthetically, this looks great. So one of the things that I always like to point out is that you always want to check and see if this is secure. How do you know if your connection is secure? Simply by going to Google Chrome, so www.google.com. You can see I already, just the convenience, I've already brought it up. But then you're going to go up to the browser and see if you see this lock. You might see a little eye. You might see a red, something that looks like it needs your attention. So this is essentially letting Google know and telling you if your connection to Google Chrome is secure. And you can see that they are. This is great, as they should be. This is very standard. If you are seeing anything other than this, I would say just stop the video and focus on getting, following the information that Google gives you and getting an SSL certificate and that added layer of protection. This is, again, just kind of like if you have a business and you're not paying your electric bill, that's going to be a poor impression when someone walks in and you can't provide running water or turning the lights on, or if you're a dentist operating. I mean, it is literally a prerequisite to doing business. So this, if you do not have this, right there, that's going to hinder you from moving up in Google or search engines. Also, this is just interesting to see. You can see they have a valid SSL certificate, which is great. There's 247 cookies in use. Good for myself to know. I obviously need to clear those, but just something right off the bat to take a look at. So what I do, just to understand immediately, I go to a few different places. First, I go to GT Metrics. GTmetrics.com is a free tool. Neil Patel, he owns 4 multi-million companies for search engine optimization, companies like Crazy Egg, Kiss Metrics. Believe he sold Quick Sprout to Eric Sue. And he utilizes this tool. I fell in love with it several years ago. We as a team love it because you can test different browsers, you can test different connections, and you can see right now I'm on a Chrome desktop pending, if this company, they're located in Florida, so I'd assume their server's close by. I have it in the US. Right now, this is showing a 16.5 second fully load time. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going to test it on an unthrottled connection, is what it's tested on now. Let's just test LTE mobile. So this is really fast. So this is not going to be your 3G. This is, again, it's LTE. So let's retest this right now and see, what they look like. So you can see it's really quick. Just go to gtmetrics.com. You're going to put in the URL of the business that you want to test. And why this is super interesting is this is going to give you another easy, low-hanging fruit opportunity to rank, since Google has rolled out now that speed, especially on mobile, since 70% of people carry around a mobile device and utilize that versus a desktop. speed, the need for speed is huge. So you could be doing everything right in your business and spending $10,000 in advertising on Google. And if you're directing them to a slow page that takes forever to load, it is just a problem. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but what I love about this tool is that you can download a PDF. You can send this to whoever, if you're using GoDaddy, if you're using, for instance, this business, I would assume they're working with a hosting company. Immediately, what I would look at, don't pay attention to, diving in and getting granular. What does all this mean? The one thing I want you to focus on is the requests. This is the average number of requests that this site is having to the server to load the website versus what Brahman Motors BMW actually have. So this to me is this is such an easy way to just speed up the site. Let's contact whoever we're hosting with and talk about how we can decrease the amount of times Google has to knock on our hosting company's door and say, hey, I need this to load. I need these pictures to load. I need the inventory to load. So you can see what I love is not only does this tool say, hey, 186, yeah, the average number is 87, just trying to give you a benchmark, but it also gives you the clear result, a 50% reduction in size here, which is going to help your speed just by looking and resizing these images. You all, this is huge, because if Google right now is saying that 50% of people drop off a site if it takes 3 or more seconds to load. And this site right now, the homepage, 14.8 seconds on LTE mobile, that's pretty fast. This is too slow. We can do better, you all. This is just, especially if you're investing, $1,000 plus in advertising and you are giving Google a poor experience. So this is just, again, I love it because it gives you exact information of what to change, what to do, and literally priorities. So you can walk through, let's just take this right here. What does this mean? And how can we scale this image? Download the PDF, send it to whoever is responsible for this. So page speed, it affects your rank. This is the first place that I would start. So the next place that I really go is a tool I love, and it's Ahrefs. So Ahrefs, Ahrefs, and they're constantly making updates and changes that align with how quickly the search engines change, and giving you the data to make better decisions in your online business. And so what I love is I look at, again, your website as an opportunity to generate passive income. And so I want to be able to track what your traffic value is and where this is coming from, what your organic traffic is and keywords are trending, and what your backlinks look like. And again, as you improve and you move up, you're going to get more traffic. And so you are going to develop rankings within more search queries, which ultimately will start bringing down your overall rank if you're generating new traffic. And so sometimes, if you don't understand these, I call them vanity metrics, because they really are vanity metrics. This is like a quick snapshot of the stock market. And until you really dive in, you can't diagnose what's going on. But I can tell you, excuse me, some just things that I would highlight and go off of that are concrete and are fundamentally take a while to change. And so the two things that I look at are right here, your domain rating, which I love this tool because if you just hover over the I, it'll tell you and remind you exactly what that is. This shows the strength of a target website's backlink profile. So backlinks is if you consider who your network is within your community. If I am friends or connected with, I'll use a big example, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is a big influence in not just the United States, but internationally. She's a world influence, and that and being connected to her holds weight in somebody's perspective. And so, such as life, this is ultimately what happens in influence matters. So the domain rating is really important because that's going to show you, similar to if you're looking at your bank account, what your interest rate is. These types of numbers aren't going to fluctuate very often. And if they are fluctuating, whether it's down or up, we want both of these to increase. There are items that or elements within your website or online, like we just talked about speed, that are affecting these numbers and that you can dive in, diagnose, and commit to resolving. So I just want to quickly utilize this to show that you can see very quickly it looks like they've gained some backlinks. And, when you talk about influence, backlinks are super important. Referring domains. Who is your online database of referral networks? And so just like how it works in person, you might be familiar with BNI groups, with a local networking group, a CEO roundtable, a Dealer 20 group. All of these groups and connections you make, it's usually agreeable that they would, if you're investing the time, it's helping to advance either your business, your education, or the value that you are receiving in the world. And so you continue to go. And just like how that works in business, in our own reality, that is happening online with search engines. And so you always want to dive in and be aware of connections that you're losing and gaining, because a connection, going back to the Oprah Winfrey example, if Oprah Winfrey and I were to get into a fight and all of a sudden she blacklisted me from her life, that could dramatically affect my ability to utilize her brilliance and education in business and everything else, and would hinder my development, obviously, moving forward. And so you always want to take a look at who you're losing and gaining online. And Ahrefs is, I think, a great tool to do that. And I believe you're able to do at least see the first few for free without a subscription. This is also, I believe, one of the lowest costing platforms that delivers the most value in our business. So a light version of Ahrefs can cost you less than $100 a month. And you, at least if you're working off of one website, can keep track of your own backlink profile. And so again, I just think because this is that important in your business, and $100 a month, if you are putting in the work, just like a gym membership, if you're not going, clearly it's not going to be worth it no matter what the cost is. But this is just really such a great value. I utilize this tool every day, every single day. Myself and the team utilize this. So I trust it. Neil Patel uses it. There are huge influencers that influence it, and they are not paying me to say that. So I just want to assure you that this is great data. And so you can see what I also love about this is it tells you first seen and last seen. So at the end of the day, Ahrefs is aggregating data, right? So if they're aggregating data, they should be able to alert you to what they're seeing, which can help you understand how often your site's being crawled. So you can see, I don't see much in October right here, but that's okay. This is just showing recent. So what you can see is right here, for instance, it looks like they had a review that was linking to them, and the link was reviewed. It was last seen, this link removed on October 28th. So let's just take this. This is a newer one. This is interesting because it's not even a dealership that looks like is related to them. But I clicked on the link. And let's see here. So again, it looks like for whatever reason, midway forward, this was a link that maybe should have been removed because it was coming from Bird's Eye. Again, maybe this business can look into that or it would mean more to them. But this looks like possibly a link that makes sense to remove. So if I want to see immediately what links right here have been lost, I can search, I can see loss, and you can see right here, it looks like Prestige, a review, and maybe a lease offer. So a link was removed. And so these are all 3 days ago. One of the interesting things that often happens with automotive dealerships is that sometimes links are removed and they're out there if you shared that vehicle on a Facebook page or in a group, and then all of a sudden you drop it, you're going to start directing traffic to error pages on your site, which ultimately can hinder your ability to rank. So because I see all of these dropped links, my question to this business owner would just be, what is your 404 error page policy look like? So when you're dropping off these vehicles that you're selling or you're removing from your lot, what does it look like when a customer then clicks on that inventory link from a Facebook page or, again, it was shared online, I'm sure, at one point, and it leads them to an error page. Google notices that, flags it, and ultimately kind of keeps tabs of those. And so I think that that's something logistically for any business that has to deal with inventory at scale. It's certainly something that if you're not looking at it daily, it needs to be a part of your online business process. And more importantly, it is going to be more cumbersome for you because you're dealing with inventory that comes on and off your website. However, Google's most important value is delivering relevant results to customers and a world-class experience. And so if you are constantly every month showing Google that you're just racking up these 404 error pages, Google is going to look at that as you don't care. And so because of simply just that, it is in your best interest to monitor those. So the next part that I really take a look at with this audit is just diving into who these backlinks are coming from. And so domain rating, we measured ours. Ours was at a 23, if you remember correctly, I believe. So you can see, okay, DuPont Registries at 70. And that's a lot higher than ours. Shop BMW USA. It looks like, yes, they're delivering organic traffic. I'm not going to, just in the sense of, I don't want to overwhelm you, get into what these mean. But the most important thing I want you to take a look at is domain rating and what these websites, their domain rating is comparatively to ours. And so, and how many links that they have. So what I like to do is just sort these, and let's look at who is sending the most links to our site. So what's interesting is Bird Eye, I believe that this is a review platform. We utilize this, but maybe it's not. There's a million companies, but I love, if it is reviews, I would tell them that this is something that I would look into understanding how this can help your site, since they have an 83 and they're really, as far as links to target, in our top 5. Carsandtrucks.com, I wonder how much they're paying for this, because this domain rating is actually at a 12. So you can see that's less than ours. And they are sending a lot of traffic our way. So this is something that, if we're not monitoring this, it could almost be like having a bad friend, and we're guilty by association. So just understanding how this is benefiting us in the relationship. It looks like organic traffic, if this is how much they're sending us, what do our conversions look like? It was first seen March 6th. So again, this shows me that maybe we just need to index or go and alert Google to what this relationship with carsandtrucks.com looks like. And that's for a different episode, but Google Search Console, I'll just put a pin in that, is a tool that I would utilize to measure the value of that traffic. But, what I see as interesting is, I'm sure that they're paying a lot of money for third-party directories, and I don't see many of those up there. So I'm just going to then sort, I guess, by domain rating. Let's see here if I can find any of them. So you notice, like, there's not a lot of blogs. It doesn't look like other than DuPont Registry, they're utilizing a lot of influencers. So whether it's in Miami or somewhere else, influencer marketing can certainly help drive relative business and help your domain rating here on the site. So just interesting to take a look at, and it gives you an idea of who's referring traffic and potentially anything that you've lost or gained that is helping or hindering your relationship. So again, backlink profile, you can search new, you can search lost. There are no broken, at least for what I'm seeing here, which is great. But again, keeping your eye on domain ratings and what could be helping, what could be hurting is certainly, I think, the most important thing to dive into right here if you're looking at trying to increase this. So again, referring domains and referring pages, this is just, it can be a little bit deceiving, because again, this is just tracking how many, and that's not tracking how those are actually relative to your business being valued higher in search engines' eyes. So the last thing that I like to take a look at is your organic traffic. So their organic search traffic. So again, we want to take a look at where are they receiving traffic. And obviously it looks like the United States is primarily what we would want to look at here. And what's helping. Again, we want this in what's hurting. It looks like they've stayed pretty if you looked at this like a bank account, you probably wouldn't look at it and be like, okay, well, I've grown and saved a lot this year. And you also wouldn't look at it and say, I've lost a lot. So again, not looking and not knowing anything about this business, just from strictly this, I would say, okay, we've gained in organic keywords, but and it looks like since July, we've certainly been gaining in organic keywords. So are those keywords that we're ranking delivering the traffic from a quality audience? That's what I would be asking, since we are gaining, but you don't see this, the traffic rate here going up. And again, this is very high level. What I like to look at to dive in would be your Google Analytics. But if we want to take a look right at the organic keywords that are delivering new traffic, you can certainly see that from Ahrefs. Again, another reason why I love this. So you saw on the last screen, if you looked at the traffic, it looked like, yes, we are ranking for more keywords, but are we making a dent in gaining actual traffic that's sticking month over month, so that we see that's, it almost looked like a gradual mountain, or the stock market really increasing. And so what I love about this, it's going to show you the volume of traffic going to the site, so Brahman BMW, from this keyword. And so what I love about this is if you take a look and be empathetic to the business owner in this. So I'm looking at, okay, a business owner, obviously customers that know Brahman BMW, Brahman Miami, BMW Brahman, those are probably repeat customers. They may be looking for service. It may be a salesperson. It could be someone that's interested in parts. It could be another dealer. Who knows? Again, we're happy that this is delivering traffic. Yes, of course, I'm happy that we're position 1. BMW Miami is probably in position 3 because Brahman BMW shows up in position 1. Regardless, to me, as a business owner, this isn't as important as the long-tailed search queries for the products that I offer in this business. And what are those? Those are trim lines. This is BMW dealer near me. This is, let's keep going so that we get an actual vehicle. Okay, I haven't seen vehicles yet, so I'm just going to keep going. Because again, as everyone tells you, sorry, I just passed. BMW X6M for sale. I love this. Okay, that's something I feel someone who's looking, they know what they want. They are literally looking, they went to Google, that's what they're looking for. And this shows right here, we're in position 2 for this. But we're only getting 500, basically there's less than 500 searches a month for that traffic that's coming to your website. And then what position? So let's go back down. I wonder what this would look like if instead of being in this position on page 2, we were on page 1. If that changed from 500 to 1,000 people were then searching for this and I was on page 1, that could, as an owner, I know just moving 2 more units a month, that's all the difference. So I only need to sell 1 more. Tactfully, this is a change then that I would make and start looking at who cares about, me ranking higher for Brahman BMW spelled a different way. If, again, I'm already showing up and that's someone that knows my business and already is a repeat customer, I need to go after BMW Lease Specials Miami. Or, let's going back to, the X6 example. So the other big thing this is interesting, BMW used parts. It looks like we're actually ranked 4.8 and that's delivering a lot of traffic. So, a lot of companies out there are going to push, hey, we're going to drive this number of keyword rankings to your business each month. And I would challenge you as the business owner, just like you do in every other facet of your business, to truly say, are those keyword rankings actually driving more results? And they're not, because spending your money ranking for an alternative brand term isn't selling you more cars. Spending and investing the money to show up, number one, for a long-tailed search query that is delivering a ton of traffic, and you're nowhere to be found, that to me, you're missing the boat. Here's a prime example. If I were a business owner and why I'd be pissed. I'm selling BMWs, and BMW i8 for sale, we're currently ranked 44th, and it's delivering 6,300 search results a month. Why am I not ranking for that? 2018 Bentley Continental GT. Wouldn't you assume somebody that's doing that long-tailed search query with that amount of traffic, I should be ranked higher than 92? So these are the types of questions that I would be asking, and why I would be holding, and how I would be holding your SEO strategy accountable, because these are what I want to be searching for. The BMW 750i, the BMW 540i. How can we add more content and value around these vehicles and products on our website to rank higher for those search queries that are going to deliver more traffic to my business and new customers? And that's the difference between, okay, I'm now growing 2 to 3 extra cars a month strictly from, ranking higher for this search query, to then 5 to 10. And that's where these tactical changes of looking at, we went through your page speed today in 36 minutes. We went through, your backlink profile, what I like to call, who are your influences and who's your network. We went through your organic keywords and a little bit about how to use Ahrefs to track that. And hopefully just this alone. Oh, and then we went through one of the, again, top high level things, most important, is your site secure, which they are. So just a quick audit of quick things in the business that you can take a look at that are going to be worth spending the time and investing the time in changing, so that you can help your visibility and digital footprint on the search engines.